This is the video for lesson 1-2 in chapter 1. The title of this lesson is Words and Expressions. What you'll learn during this lesson is how to translate verbal phrases into numerical expressions and how to use the order of operations to evaluate expressions. Make sure to copy those down onto your note sheet. The essential question for Chapter 1 is how can you use numbers and symbols to represent mathematical ideas? And for Lesson 1-2, you have 3 vocabulary words, numerical expression, evaluate, and order of operation. Just showing you really quickly on your Chapter 1 outline, you have Lesson 1-2, words and expressions. Your I can statements you can copy right from this outline or look in your textbook. Your 3 vocabulary words, and then your homework for lesson 2 will be the homework practice worksheet 2 through 30 evens, and then the problem solving worksheet. Also reminding you that you have your note sheet to complete every day. This is where you will write down your I can statements and fill those in using your textbook or the outline. And then your vocabulary definitions, 3 of your words right here, you can look those up in your in your textbook, in the glossary, or within the chapter. In this video, I'll be working out a few problems that I want you to work out with me right here on your note sheet. Make sure that those are filled in. And then at the end of every lesson, you will take a self-check quiz, and you will record that score on this note sheet and then send the screenshot to me, making sure that I have record of that. Going back to the textbook, let's take a look at, first of all, the definition of numerical expression. A numerical expression contains a combination of numbers and operations, and those operations are addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So your job is to read through the examples, making sure you understand those examples. Sometimes there's video tutors that you can watch for the examples, and that's just an extra way that you can make sure you understand the problem. So make sure to take advantage of those resources. These are the first problems that we're going to work out on your sheet. One of the ways you can do this is to pause the video and work them out on your own, and then play the video to make sure that you got them all right. The other way is just to do them along with me to make sure that you understand, and I will explain as we go. For 1A, the cost of 10 yo-yos, if each one costs $3, 10 times 3 is traditionally written like this, but I would like for you to write down a couple of different ways to write that expression. The x is sometimes used as a variable, often actually used as a variable in algebra, so we need to find out different ways to write 10 times 3 without the x. So some of you know that 10.3 means 10 times 3, and we can also use parentheses to separate those two numbers, and that also indicates 10 times 3. Another one that I want you to write down is 10*3. On a computer, when you're doing computer programming or working on a computer, the asterisk is Shift 8 on the keyboard, and 10*3 also means multiplication. If I come up here to my calculator and type in 10 times 3, it won't know, well, it does know that the calculator does calculate 10 times 3, but if I use 10*3, it also knows that 10 times 3 is 30. So make sure you have all 4 of those written down for 1A. For 1B, the number of students in each group, if 15 students are divided into 5 groups. This is one way to write 15 divided by 5, but I'd also like you to write down a couple of different ways. 15 divided by 5, that's probably how you first learn to show your division, is with the little house. Okay, I also want you to know that the / on the computer is also another way to write division. So 15 divided by 5 could be written that way, or as a fraction. 15 divided by 5 also indicates an expression using that symbol. Okay. For 1C, the number of students on 3 buses, if each bus holds 22 students. Again, 3 times 22 could be written with a dot, with parentheses, and with an asterisk. So please write those down for 1C. And finally, the amount of money Nina would earn if she mowed the lawn for $15 and walked the dog for $4. There's really not another way to write the addition numerical expression here except for 15 plus 4. So make sure you have all 4 of those on your note sheet in this box right here. The next one I'm going to work out is on the next page underneath Got It 2A, 2B, and 2C, and 2D. Please just don't skip ahead and do the problems. Make sure you read through the examples and look at the vocabulary here. Notice we have to evaluate an expression. We're going to find the simplest answer. So get that vocabulary word and definition written down. And we also have the order of operations, which are the rules that we follow when we're evaluating. Sometimes teachers teach PEMDAS. Okay, so that's one way that you might hear order of operations referred to. Okay, you also might hear of GEMS. That's groupings, exponents, multiplication and division, subtraction and addition. So that's another way. We'll talk about other acronyms that people use, but most commonly it's referred to as PEMDAS or the order of operations. So let's take a look at these problems down here at 2A, order of operations. When there's only addition and subtraction, we're going to work left to right. So 6 minus 3 is 3, 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. For 2B, we have multiplication and division, so we're just going to work from left to right. Even though in PEMDAS multiplication comes before division, if there's only multiplication and division, we're going to move from left to right. So 24 divided by 3 is 8. 8 times 9 is 72. In 2C, we have some grouping symbols. And so we have grouping in the way of parentheses and brackets. And sometimes we go to braces, and those are kind of the squiggly ones. So in this case, I'm going to do this grouping, 10 minus 3, which is 7. And then I have an addition sign, and then 6 parentheses 5 means multiplication. So 6 times 5 is 30. Okay, and all of that is in these brackets. So I'm going to take 30 plus 7 to get 37. And 37 with this 2 out front means to multiply. So 37 times 2 is 74. For 2D, we have the numerator that can be evaluated or simplified. 19 minus 7 is 12. And then denominator, we have 25 minus 22, which is 3. That can be simplified. And we wouldn't leave our answer as 12 over 3 because that can be evaluated. That it can be simplified to the answer of 4. Make sure you have all 4 of those answers on your note sheet in this box right here. The last problem we're going to look at is the hot problem, number 37. I won't always do these problems, but I think it's really important for you to always reflect back on the essential question for the chapter. And number 37 asks how we can explain why the rules of order of operations are important. And then it says support your answer with 2 numerical examples. So the way I can think of that, one way I can explain that is, let's just say football. Okay, let's say that the team scored three touchdowns, which we know is 3 times 7 points, right? And then plus 3 or 4 field goals. Okay, so we'll say 4, and the field goals were each worth 3. If we didn't have an order of operations, we'd have 3 field goals, right? Sorry, 3 touchdowns, which is 3 times 7 points, and then plus 4, and then times 3. So I'm just going to write this down now just a little bit different. Okay, so we know that 3 touchdowns is 21 points, and we know that 4 field goals is worth 12 points. That's a total of 33 points, right? So we have 33 points. If we didn't follow the order of operations, we do something like, well, 3 times 7 is 21, and then 21 plus 4 is 25, and then 25 times 3 is 75 points. Now, while the football team might want the 75 points instead of the 33 points, we just know that the order of operations is important so that we all get the same answer and we kind of know the same rules to follow. So there's one example. If you have another one that you can come up with, that'd be great to put onto your note sheet. But that's it for lesson 1-2 video. Make sure you do your problems on your worksheet and let me know if you have any questions as you correct those and if you miss more than just 1 or 2, and then do your problem solving worksheet as well. Good luck.